Shadecraft issue number 1 from Image Comics. So this series kind of caught my eye, mostly just by the cover, and then I read a little bit of the premise, and it sounded kind of cool. It's basically about a teenager who gets attacked by shadows, and that always I've always been intrigued by the shadow people. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the phenomenon, but that the shadow people has always intrigued me, and it's always been one of my biggest things that I love, researching and stuff like that, like all the different types of shadow people. So the whole shadows coming to life and attacking a main character grabbed my interest, and I wanted to check it out. I will say I was a bit wary at first because I'm like, okay, we got a teenage girl as the main character. They're probably gonna do a bunch of weed and speak. But surprisingly, they didn't, or at least if they did, it's very subtle and it just sounds like normal, regular people talking. So yeah, when it comes to Whedon Speak, I used to love Whedon Speak, but that was back when Josh Whedon actually used to do it for Buffy, because I was a huge fan of Buffy growing up. But then I started to hate Whedon Speak because they got to the point where everybody and their mother was using Whedon Speak when it came to modern day comics, and it was just bad because Whedon Speak should only be used by Whedon. He's the only one that really nailed it. Everyone else that has tried just hasn't come all that great. So I was a little bit worried about that. And thankfully, yeah, the characters actually seem believable. They're not annoying. The artwork is good. I like it. I mean, it's not, Clayman or the top tier stuff from Marvel or DC, but it's still good artwork, especially when compared to a lot of other modern day comic book stuff. Even stuff from Marvel and DC has been pretty bad. I mean, you have the top tier stuff, and then everything else is either kind of average or subpar. I'll say this is above average. The artwork, I liked it. It's good enough. The coloring is good. We have people from different races and stuff like that, but you can actually tell what race they are, in a sense. It's not like a lot of Marvel comics where I'm reading it and then it's like, oh, this person is non-white, but I have no idea what they are because the colorist decided to make them a really dull purple because it's they wanted to make them some kind of ethnic race, but they couldn't commit to which one they wanted to choose. So I know I'm kind of getting off on a weird subject, but it's just stuff like that really bothered me. It's this is coming from someone who reads manga and watches anime, so I'm used to people with different colored hairs and stuff like that. But yeah, just trying to see normal humans but with purplish skin and stuff like that, it's just okay. So yeah, artwork is good, coloring is good. So how about the story? Well, let's get it. We have our main character, Zadie. She's walking home with one of her best friends, and she awkwardly kisses him, thinking that that's what he wants, but he doesn't, so she rushes off, embarrassed. It's okay, I can relate to something like that. Basically getting mixed messages from a friend and thinking that it might be something more or not. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, or just something similar where you just embarrass yourself in front of people and you just kind of want to disappear. So as she's on her way back home, she notices that the shadows are kind of acting kind of weird, and eventually gets to the point where just as she's about to enter her house, a giant smoke of shadow attacks her and it surrounds her, and just before it gets her, her mom turns on the porch light and the shadows disappear. And so the next day she tells one of her other friends, Kate, hey, shadows are coming to life and they're attacking. And of course, no one believes her. And then of course you get the cliche stuff where the school bullies have to, make fun of Zadie. So there's a scene where we see shadows creeping up on Zadie, and Zadie jumps and tackles her friend, watch out, I'll protect you. And then it turns out to be just a bunch of bullies with a flashlight and making hand puppets, and they're recording it so that they can put it online and broadcast her embarrassment to the world and have more people make fun of her. I was all right, this seems kind of cliche. I don't know, maybe high school is a lot different since I graduated, because it's been 17 years. Yeah, I'm 35. I graduated in 2004 from high school. So but I've never seen stuff like this. Bowling was more of make fun of your mom or something. It was never sadistic, or like, you know, I'm gonna embarrass you, record it, and then upload it online so that the whole world can make fun of you as well. But maybe that's changed. I don't know. So yeah, they did that, and now she has a new nickname, Crazy Zadie. And this is a scene that I didn't care for too much. It's a scene where she's talking to her brother, and her brother is in a coma. And basically, she's talking about how, like, you know, I hate you. Like, you know, I hated you when you were around because, like, you were so popular. Like, you knew exactly what to say, what to do. Everyone kind of looked up to you and stuff like that. And I was always kind of like in your shadow in a sense, which I guess kind of fits the theme of the whole shadows and stuff. And she says, you know, now that you're in a coma, like, I hate you even more. And I'm assuming she's just saying this, like, she doesn't really mean it. Like, there's no bitterness to it. And that's not why I don't like the scene. The reason I don't like the scene is because it's straight up exposition. And it's blatant exposition. It's pretty much like, here, I'm going to lay down what our relationship is like and everything so that the audience knows. But it's not worded in a way that works. It's just straight in your face. Hey, your name is Ricky. But like, she even says, like, okay, because being the sister of the most popular kid in school, how could I possibly live up? Why even try? But then a year ago, when you got into the car accident, when you fell into this coma, it's like, people don't talk like that. And it's like she's talking to herself. And I know, like, when people have conversations with themselves, it's different than when they're having conversations with others. But it's just, this is straight up exposition. Like, if I were to show an example of exposition, I would just copy this page and then be like, this is exposition. This is what you don't want to do. Again, this is like a nitpick because I really do enjoy everything else about this issue. It's good, but just this one scene just really bothered me just because of how blatant it was. I don't know how you would work it. Maybe rather than having a moment where Zadie is mentioning how the kids at school are calling you coma kid, maybe have it actually be brought up. Like, maybe like while she's being bullied, they say something like, you know, your brother, coma kid, whatever. Like, I don't know the exact words because if I had time to think about it, I would come up with something. But that's what I would do. I would throw it in a way that it feels more organic rather than the character just straight up spilling everything out for you, the audience. If that makes any sense. So yeah, I would rework this scene. It does play a part later on, especially the fact, you know, I hate you plays a part later in the issue. I'm not going to spoil that, but so there is a point to this scene and the fact that he's in a coma and all this stuff. But I will just say that it could have been done a lot better. But anyways, yeah, we have a moment where, like, her mom walks in and her mom's upset with Zadie for being around her brother. I have no idea why. Yeah, her mom's like, you know, you're not supposed to be in this room. It's weird because you would think the mom would be fine. Like, hey, like, when people are in a coma, it's good to have people who love and care for them to be around them and talking to them and stuff like that. But yeah, so the mom gets pissed off at her daughter for being by her brother's side. And so Katie gets upset and she runs off into the woods. And this is when the big finale of this issue happens, where the shadows come to life and start to attack her. But right before they get her, her shadow manifests and protects her. And then we kind of get a scene where, like, they're running and the shadow is trying to do all she can to protect Katie from the shadow creatures. There's a little bit more. I don't want to spoil it. Let's just say that the little twist that we find about the shadow and what it really is really interesting, and I'm kind of, you know, looking forward to the next issue. But yeah, I don't want to spoil this because I really do think you guys should check it out. I recommend it. This gets a recommend. So if I were to grade it, I would say this is actually a B plus. Actually, maybe an A minus. Nah, yeah, B plus, A minus. You know what? Let's be conservative. Let's give it a B plus. Because I'm one of those where I don't really hand out. Like, A's are very, very hard. Like, I'm not one of those people where, like, okay, for example, like, Hack Slash is my favorite comic book series ever. There is not one issue of Hack Slash I would give an A plus. Like, that's how hard it is. To tell the truth, off the top of my head, I can't even think of any series or issue that I would give an A plus. Not even like a lot of the classics that people mention, like Watchmen and The Dark Knight's Returns and all that stuff. So yeah, getting like an A is really, for me, isn't going to be really hard. You have to basically, I was going to say bring your A game, but of course you have to bring your A game to get an A from me. But yeah, this is a B plus, 2 thumbs up, a high recommend. Definitely check it out. Like I think it was great. The character Zadie is, I like Zadie. I mean, I don't really know much about her, but she didn't annoy me at all, which is very hard to do when it comes with teenage characters. A lot of teenage characters just annoy the crap out of me. Teenage characters and kids. Just because it's like you get adults trying to write teenagers, but it's been so many years since the adults have been teenagers themselves, so they don't really relate. So it just seems really weird. It's like that meme, you know, how do you do, fellow kids? So this actually was a good attempt. Actually, it was a good execution, I would say. Not attempt, because they actually nailed it. A good execution of a teenage character. She seemed believable, even her dialogue, the way she acted. I could buy her as a teenager, and she's not annoying. Like I'm actually, I don't want to say it, sympathizing. I can relate to her, despite the fact that she's a teenage Asian girl, and I'm and I'm a white adult male. I can relate to her character and her struggles and stuff like that. So the writing is great. The artwork is good. The colorizing is good. The premise is really interesting. The execution was good. The only nitpick I have is just the exposition scene with her and her brother. That scene I really didn't care for. The scene itself, fine. It's just the dialogue. The exposition was just, it's too on the nose, and it should have been worded better so that it actually feels like an actual conversation, even if it's just a one-sided conversation, than just a conversation of her talking to us. It was too in your face. But other than that, Shadecraft was good. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. So check it out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me what you guys think. Feel free to comment down below and all that cool jazz. And if you guys got any recommendations, especially for comic books, now's the perfect time. With manga decks being on, at the time of this recording anyways, being under construction or maintenance or whatever you want to call it for the next couple of weeks. I've pretty much just been focusing on nothing but comic books at the moment. So if you guys have any comic books you recommend, especially if it's like stuff that just came out or just has a couple of issues, like stuff I can easily catch up on, then yeah, I would be more likely to read those and most likely do a review video. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, everybody. Hope to see you guys next time. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.